Hurricane Maria has devastated the lush island of Dominica. Some of those wonderful trees have been felled. Their barks have been removed. The streets are blocked with pieces of wood, pieces of trees that look like matchsticks. It looks like a bomb has gone off in Dominica. Houses have lost their roofs, and many lives have been lost. Today we talk with two sons of Dominica, prominent in the Washington metropolitan area, and they tell their personal story, how this storm has affected them. That's up next on CaribNation. Hello, welcome to CaribNation. I'm Dara Steen. My first guest today is attorney Gabriel Christian, a son of Dominica who's been affected by Hurricane Maria. Thank you so much for joining us, Gabriel Christian. I know this is a difficult time for you coming from Dominica, and we're going to talk a little bit about how it has affected you personally. But before we get there, I know that you're the founder of Rebuild Dominica, and you're also a founding member of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Relief and Recovery Alliance that has just been formed as a result of these hurricanes. We know that Dominica, like Barbuda, Anguilla, was really devastated. So we're going to take a look. We've received a video from the government of Dominica.
Yes, that video was done by the Government Information Service. I believe the gentleman's name is Charles John.
Mm-hmm. And he took this video on his way to work, having to walk to work. Morning after Maria. So sit with us. Let's look at this video, and we'll come back and talk some more about what we have seen.
This is Castle Comfort, Dominica, September 19th. On September 18th, you could not see beyond these trees. Every leaf, every branch was stripped off of these trees. Look at the bare trees at the top of the hill there. There appears to be a lot of rubble of wood, or it could be trees in the distance there. This is the entrance to my apartment. I roll this up from inside and dragged it outside this morning. Look at this. Hi. It's as though a brush cutter came through here and just knocked everything down. I could never see the sea from here. Now I can. Look at this. This is the view from my roof. It's like a huge pond. There's a drain hole, but it's obviously too small to drain all of this at once. Look on the hill. There are bits and pieces of roofs. Look at that yellow building in the distance. The roof, a large portion of the roof is missing. My neighbors here are tossing water over the balcony. So this is what my driveway looks like from the other end. That's in the way. That's where I was looking out from. The yellow and green. Those are some of the police officers who I see every day at the office. They're going to look for their families. This is the warehouse that you could see from my apartment earlier. It's a hardware company called Courts. It's where they store their furniture in bulk. So you go to the city and you buy your furniture and it gets delivered from this warehouse. Clearly, the integrity of this structure has been compromised and everything is exposed. There are downed electricity and I guess cable and telephone lines all over the place. This is the middle of a road. Look at this. Morning, morning. You okay? Yeah. This is what's left of the main road. And we look in the distance. And I'm told that there's a church up the road that has moved. So I'm going to have a look. It is suspected that a mechanic lives downstairs and that he might have perished.
Inside there. You sure you don't come? No, blocked inside there. We ain't going there. I called the man when the wind started. I called him.
This used to be a church, the Baptist church. You can see one wall, one piece of a wall remaining, and what looks like a ton load of lumber. Trees that have been stripped of the outside part, and look at this. This road used to pass from this side to that side, and it's clearly washed away. There's a lady trapped in that house. Can you wave at her and see if she waves back? Is she gone back inside?
Yeah. You! Yeah. A lady. She was waving us a while ago.
But we can't get to her because of that. You were inside all the time?
Yes. We stay inside all the time.
You were alone?
So me and my sister.
She's there?
Mm-hmm.
She's okay?
Yes, one time when the water filled up the rooms, we went to the bathroom.
Yes.
And after when she was tired, the top of the beds and them dry, so I put her to sit down, lie down.
This was a church here?
Yes. I can't believe it. The river break from way up, so the river finish bank leave because of the river right there. The river, no wonder the thing dash on me. It's because of that.
These wooden pieces are. This one in front of me is probably the size. It's larger than a coffin. Just to give you an idea of the size. Look at this. Look at it's just like a bomb went off here. Halfway through it, and that's heading into an area called Newtown. There are two hotels that are adjacent to each other here. One is called Evergreen, and the sign used to be very visible there from the street on the wall, and the structure clearly has received some damage. I can see windows missing. And next to it is another hotel. You can barely see the sign. It's called Castle Comfort Lodge in the red. And this used to be the main road. There's a car lodged up here, a pickup truck. This is one of the places where I eat 3 to 4 times a week. It's really messed up. This is another section of the Anchorage Hotel, or what remains. That's the entrance to the lobby. Normally the drive from my apartment to my office takes about 5 minutes, 4 to 5 minutes. So I'm following a group of people into Roseau. So this is part of for what normally is a 4-minute drive, 4 to 5 minute drive. I'm walking the entire distance today. I'm standing on the Island Main Road that moves along from Roseau in front of the Fort Young Hotel down towards Loubier. I'm not even halfway. It's raining again, and you can hear the waves pounding. So this is the first time we can really see some idea of the road, but not too far down you lose recognition of it again. There's no one driving because you can't drive. This is the entrance. This is the public library. Roof is gone. This is the residence, the official residence of the President of Dominica. It is called the State House. The President is Charles Savarin.
So sad.
So I'm entering Roseau. I'm in Roseau. These are some of the scenes.
Well, Gabriel, that is something that's really shocking.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's almost, it has an end of the world effect.
Yes.
But we are people of faith and courage. We are people of an indomitable spirit, and we shall, by God's grace and the work of our friends and allies all over the world, rebuild, hopefully better and stronger and wiser in the way we work as a family to run our countries.
And as we build things too, because two things that have struck me over the years, and the fact that you guys came together and created the alliance. When I heard that, I thought, wow, finally, because I have always wondered, why is it that the islands in the Caribbean, these governments who know that their economies depend on tourism, who know that as small states, one disaster could wipe them out, why do we not have, you know, our grandparents always talked about having a little put away for a rainy day?
So let's give credit
What
where
is
it's due.
happening
Let's
to
give
these?
credit where it's due. So there's TEDIMA, which is the Caribbean Emergency Disaster System. And so we give credit for that,
Of
and
course,
we thank God
yes.
for that. But it has not been enough. We are in a hurricane zone. Every year we have hurricane season. There's no SEDIMA curriculum in the schools. There's no civil defense in our islands to speak of. Knowing that every year we face potential disaster, we ought to be more systematic. Glaring shortcoming, no link with the diaspora to speak of. But you know, we will do the postmortem later. Right now we're in the midst of disaster.
We have to
We
deal with it
praise
right
SEDIMA,
now.
we praise those governments that have rushed to our aid, and we're going to focus on working together. The criticisms and the debriefs will come later on as we look back. But right now, there are people in Dominica and the other islands that need food now. They need water now. And so this morning, we're so thankful for CaribNation, so thankful for you and our brother Larry Sinders, and for the members of the Caribbean Disaster Relief and Recovery Alliance who are here, and the gentleman who has joined us from the Black Emergency Professionals, Charles Sharp, formerly U.S. Air Force. Those are the kinds of relationships that now will bring us the results we desire, because I want to just give you a quick update. The former Dean of the Diplomatic Corps, Dr. Eddie Edmonds, one of the leading agricultural scientists in the Caribbean, joined Rebuild Dominica today. But that didn't start today, that relationship. It has been a relationship for almost 20 years. When he was ambassador, we worked with him on different development projects for St. Lucia, for Dominica, for the Caribbean. We also had today the link with United Methodist Charities. Jay Lightfoot joined us from California today. He will be dealing with food and food aid for Dominica. This morning, joining us from the University of Virginia was eminent PhD in mechanical engineering, Dr. Bevin Etienne, with whom we put the first wind turbine in Dominica in 2002. He's going to be looking at solar collectors so people can charge their phones, solar lamps so we can have lighting in homes, and powered wood sawing machines to take all the logs that came from the hills, to saw those logs into sheets and boards so we can rebuild the homes.
That. Yeah, so
absolutely.
Absolutely. There's so much.
Absolutely. Yeah. This morning also, Dr. Shillingford came on board. He'll be working with Dr. Edmonds on agriculture recovery. We also had coming on board on Thursday Dexter Newton, who is with Con Edison in Manhattan as an electrical engineer, manning the switchboard for electricity supplies in Manhattan. He's on his way to Dominica. I spoke to him about 10 minutes ago in St. Lucia, where he is getting a boat ready to go to Dominica to give us a power assessment so we can find out what we can do to power our villages and help the government and the electric company people get back online, see what is needed. This is a grassroots effort, but it's been a grassroots effort of development of a lifetime where we've crafted these relationships, and we're saying to our government now, we're saying to our opposition now, we're saying to all our people, no fighting, no looting,
political,
no partisanship.
Yeah.
We've criticized this government, but we understand we have to work with this government, and we shall. But we know that we can only work best where we work together. So we have made a call for a national unity government, because the construction that will be required will require both parties and all Dominicans working together. I think it was Abraham Lincoln who paraphrased a section of the Bible where he said during the American Civil War, a house divided against itself cannot stand. And so we want all Dominicans to work together. In the other islands, our message is the same thing. Working together on the inside, working together with our diaspora, working together in love and unity. As Bob Marley said once in a song, collective security for surety. That is the way we want to go, because our whole thing now, service, love,
and self-sufficiency.
That's correct.
Over the long term, because for too many years we have depended on others, and we have the capability, we have the skill set to help us build and protect ourselves. So I think we need to use that.
So Rebuild Dominica was formed in 2015 after Tropical Storm Erica. We're the only Dominican organization we know of in the world that is dedicated to disaster relief and recovery. There are many Dominican associations. They've done many wonderful things, and we're working with them in collaboration. But they are community and social and cultural organizations. And so now they're coming together for disaster relief. But we've created a brain trust, if you will, or resource base of Dominicans and non-Dominicans in the disaster relief and recovery space, so we can focus on that and focus on that only. Why? Because we in the Caribbean have that problem, and we are going to say to our governments that we are going to have to design curriculum in the schools. We're going to have to get our architects together to deal with resiliency. We're going to have to deal with our civil engineers dealing with storm water management. Most of the deaths in Dominica came not from the wind, but from the flooding. Because what happened is, Dominica is very mountainous, we have lots of little streams. These streams became raging rivers, and they carried people's homes away. They went through people's homes and killed them in their homes. Some people were in their homes safe from the wind. They were saying, well, we're relaxing, we're safe from the wind. And the water came in and killed them in their homes. So in 2015, we asked the government for a national reconstruction conference. And here in Prince George's County, I had met with a development specialist called Allegra McCullough, who had a major multi-million-dollar contract with the U.S. government and the state of Maryland for what? Storm water management. And she was prepared to come to Dominica to show Dominica how
to do it.
To do storm water management. That trip did not take place. People have, as a result, lost their lives because we were not ready and we have no system. So we realized none of us have the magic to do. I have my competence. You may have your competence in media, others in civil engineering, others in bridge construction. In the Caribbean and in Dominica, we have to have a collaborative spirit where we can use the resources in the Caribbean and the diaspora working together.
And they're there. We send people abroad and get trained.
Yes.
They're some of the best trained people around the Caribbean are in some of the universities around the United States.
Yes.
And so we do have the skill set, we have the capability.
Absolutely.
But it needs to be channeled and used properly.
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we have a gentleman here in Washington, D.C., who's a developer. His name is Fitzroy Bertrand. He is maybe one of the most eminent surveyors of color. He did the survey for the Martin Luther King Memorial. And he, because of the nature of his work, would be an ideal person to work with engineers from the United States and other places, so we can have that not only in Dominica, but in all the islands, because we all face similar problems.
Right. Gabriel, earlier I spoke with Mr. Bertrand, and this is what he had to say.
Yes, it has, in fact, personally affected me, and I'm saddened by that. Of course, I'm more saddened by the fact that everybody else seemed to have lost the only home. This is certainly not my only home, but this one was my vacation home, my dream home on the island. And I saw some pictures earlier today. The roof is entirely gone. All my belongings in there were just broken up. It was very sad looking at it, and
I can imagine.
but I'm a very resilient person, and I will rebuild. Fortunately for me, and that we are insured, so I will be able to get it back and running. I just feel very sorry for other people who may not be able to do it just as quick as I can.
Sure.
My experience, and of course, funds available from insurance. But I'm personally affected. My family affected. We look at it, and my daughter cries because she loved the place very much. But God is good. and we are resilient people. I'm a developer myself by profession.
Now you're a land surveyor.
I'm also a land surveyor by profession. I'm also licensed on the island of Dominica, licensed in Maryland, Virginia, and Washington, D.C.
And do you have family back there still?
Yes, I do. I have an aunt and some cousins, and I have my daughter who was visiting at the time.
Oh, my.
Lisa Bertrand. She was visiting, and she...
and they're okay?
Yes, they are. Fortunately, I heard from her. I spoke with her mom, and they're doing very well.
Oh, that's good. And good luck in rebuilding your condo.
Yes.
And I hope that your family is able to recover fairly quickly.
Definitely. I have been visiting Dominica for quite a while. In the last 20 years, I go like 3-4 times a year, and I've helped people on the island. I'm seeing now there's a greater need for my expertise. And not just my expertise, but I know other people who have expertise who I can bring forward to assist. In fact, the National Society of Professional Land Surveyors have already approached me and asked me what they can do. So with Gabriel Christian and the other...
And they will also help with Sedera.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we are going to be trying our best to assist. We're still healthy and young. The Lord have blessed us. So we're going to bring our country back to normalcy.
In terms of funds and contact, be in touch with
So
you.
we are a clearinghouse for all the organizations. Some are off on their own, but we tell people together we do better. It's www.rebuilddominica.org. We're a US 501c3 nonprofit corporation, and people can donate there. With the Caribbean Disaster Relief and Recovery Alliance, we are a registered Maryland nonprofit, and people can also make donations there as well. The website is www.cdrra.org. And the reason we have the alliance is we want to marry our resources, because a lot of times no one of us
can do it all.
Can do it all. Nor does any one of us have a monopoly on knowledge. But by sharing, we can actually do a lot more. So we are working on Dominica-specific things, but we're also assisting our fellow islanders.
Thank you very much, Gabriel, and my best to you and your family.
Thank you.
I hope that you get good news eventually.
Yes, and we're asking for good news for all the families in Dominica and all the islands, because we are all kith and kin. And I don't even know about my property or anything, and I can't worry about that now, because all those things can be rebuilt. The lives and the limbs lost can never be recovered, and that's why we are prayerful that no more deaths arise from this, that we can get the aid there quickly, and we can have the order we need to rebuild. I just saw someone walk in. People are still walking in here. It's been a busy day here, but I just have to thank Larry Sinders and Doris Dean of CaribNation for always being there for our people in good times and bad times. But by the grace of Almighty God, in this moment, may we be covered in the blood of the Lamb, and may we rise to do duty, and we shall do duty by God's grace. We shall brace ourselves to our duties by God's grace and recover.
Easy. On that note, that's where we end. I think that's an appropriate point on which to end. And as we say here, we are one people, one culture, one Caribbean, one nation. Thank you so much for joining us on CaribNation. I'm Doris Dean.